All right, hello wine drinking people, and it's time for more of what I drank yesterday. We're doing valuable research here at the Wine Watch. We just had our first ever Chardonnay, California Chardonnay tasting. I said, I don't know why we haven't done this before. Chardonnay is such a popular varietal. And sure, we've done a lot of tastings that included Chardonnay, but we've never done a comprehensive tasting of California Chardonnay from different regions all over California. So I said, let's throw it on the calendar, and sure enough, 30 people showed up. A great night, and I did something that I've tried just for the first time this tasting as well. I put a little bit of each of these wines into a glass and let it sit overnight and retasted them on the next day. Like I said, we're doing serious research here at the Wine Watch, and I don't know if anyone, does this on a regular basis, but I am now doing it at all of our big tastings. It gives me a chance to look at the wines a second time, and I've always said that the wines that are better the second day after they're open are the better wines. Wines are going to last longer in your cellar. So, the best wines on the table prove that. At this tasting, I'd have to say every wine that I scored very high, or the highest scoring wines, with exception of maybe one or two things here, were the same the first day as they were the second day. And most of the wines held up pretty good. Most of these wines were fairly young, though. There was just a few wines that lost a little on the second day in terms of balance. And the wines seem to have this kind of briny, salty character the next day that they didn't have. Some of them are more pronounced out of that. I have to check into that. Probably has something to do with their exposure to oxygen for such a long time. But some fantastic wines. Thank you, all those people who came. And I would have to say the winner that night, even after the second day, was the Buena Vista Chardonnay 2008 Carneros. Augustin Harasti, one of the founding fathers of California viticulture back in the 19th century. We just had the count here, and for your viewing pleasure, we're going to put our little recap of what happened on this video for your viewing pleasure as well. But this wine, took the title for me of best value, because for $9.75, even on the second day, this wine, was still showing brilliantly, and a really nice and fresh wine. Had a little bit of that butterscotch and that candied corn you get with a richer style of Chardonnay, and lovely peach and tropical fruit on the nose, some toasty oak aromas as well, juicy fruit on the palate, good amount of that butterscotch candy and caramel corn-like note showing there on the finish as well. A great value, and showing, like I said, almost identical on the second day. Really good freshness there as well. All right, well, the Dairy Youth Chardonnay, one of my top picks. This wine had this kind of spicy oak and Meyer lemon note, a little green apple fruit on the nose, vanilla bean, cinnamon, really complex bouquet of aromas, some minerality there as well, fresh green apple and pear on the tongue, nice amount of acidity holding everything in place, and that vanilla bean spice showing on the finish, some flinty notes, lovely creamy texture on the second day. That's one thing I noticed. This wine really opened up the texture on this wine on the second day, made it a little richer. And then the Hartford Court 4 Hearts 2009. This wine also one of the top wines of the night, bright peach and Meyer lemon citrus on the nose, butterscotch candy, vanilla bean creme brulee, flinty minerally notes there, very complex bouquet, smooth and creamy on the tongue, a good hand of that toasty oak spice, but a firm hand of acidity here as well, keeping things together, and a little bit of kind of oily texture in this wine as well, and really lovely spice showing on the second day, very nuanced, holding together really nicely. That acidity, one of the keys here as well. And then the FIGGE wines, both of these 2010 FIGGE wines, the La REINA from the Santa Lucia Highlands, and then the PELIO, the vineyard right next to Talbot Diamond Tea and Monterey. Awesome wines, and better on the second day, which I knew because I know these wines very well. We've had beer FIGGE in the store several times. The PELIO wine, this lovely Asian pear and lemon citrus fruit on the nose, fresh gravelly minerality, flinty notes, creme caramel, very exotic bouquet, very tightly wound though. This wine, lots of everything, but just needs a little bit of time. A little bit of tannin from the oak as well. There's a lemon drop aromas really showing nice on the second day, and really zesty still on the finish. Lovely acidity. These wines always need time. The La REINA vineyard, I think, edged out the two this time. It's always a seesaw battle every year between these two wines. White peach and kind of smoky, flinchy mineral note to the fruit here. Lemon drop candy, hints of anise and vanilla spice there. Lovely concentration and depth of flavors on the tongue with a firm underbelly of acidity here as well. A host of that cinnamon and vanilla spice showing on the finish. Very tightly wound on the second day. The bouquet really opened up on this wine, though. Lots more volume. Lovely richness and creaminess on the tongue, and the lovely toasty oak spice still there, and a healthy dose of acidity on the finish. All right, the Melville well, the other wines from the Santa Rita Hills, the Brewer Clifton, all showed this distinct minerality, and it was either a love or hate with these wines. And some people thought the Melville was the wine of the night, and I thought it was very good. It was definitely my favorite of the three, but they were, like I said, just a little bit different, and you really noticed the minerality of the Santa Rita Hills in those wines. The Palmaz, this is the first time I've had this wine, the Amelia, really lovely. They wet toast the barrels to get a little bit of the spice out in this, and they get a lovely balance between the oak spice, the fruit, and the acidity in this wine. Really bright and fruity bouquet. Well, it's the first time we've got this wine. Actually, they've been making it since 2004. 50% estate, 50% from Stagecoach Vineyard. Like I said, lovely balance on the tongue, lovely concentration and richness, and lovely freshness. And this wine really opened up on the second day and was even better. All right, well, that's the highlights of what we had to drink on our Chardonnay tasting. I'd have you here for 20 minutes if we went through all 30 wines. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.